it is an honor to be here. And first of all, I want to say congratulations to you guys for taking action and actually being here tonight. This is huge. So let's do a round of applause for each one of you, first and foremost. And then also a round of applause for Brian Tripp for putting this together. This is not easy. Let's do that. Okay, let's go. So who am I? Do you want me down here, up here? What works best, guys? Up? Okay, I'll stay up. I might hide behind here every now and again and get a drink of water or something. Okay, so Wholesaling Inc. Are there any tribe members in here? Any of our Rockstar students? Hands up, let's see it. All right, I love it. I'm so excited to see you guys. Some of you, it's the first time I've met you face to face, so it's an honor to be here. And then who's heard the podcast, Wholesaling Inc.? All right, we got some heavy listeners. I love it. That's awesome. If you haven't heard it, it's been an honor to host that with Tom. We were pushed up to the #2 podcast in the investing category. The one guy that we just can't knock off is Dave Ramsey. So if you guys have any ins, let me know. We're #5 in the business category. We're right next to Tim Ferriss and Tony Robbins, which is pretty special. So it's an awesome podcast, but it's because of Rhino Nation. You guys that download, subscribe, give great shout outs. So thank you so much to each one of you that are listening to the podcast. We do that for you guys. It's a value play. There's so much good that we try to do on that one. Also, new to it, we've been doing it for quite some while, but now we've been really gaining some traction. What we really want to do is add more value to your lives. So if you haven't gone over to YouTube and subscribed to our YouTube channel, it's Wholesaling Inc., we are giving value like crazy over there. I go through homes that are completely disgusting, where I have to throw away my shoes after, to nice ones that we just do a wholesale deal. So go over there. We're definitely throwing out value there. And then also one little giveaway I'm going to do at the end. Each one of you have a cell phone, pull it out, and if you're already subscribed or you're always following me on Instagram, thank you so much. If you aren't, now's the time to add to it, because at the end, I'm actually going to be doing some giveaways. I'm going to do a book giveaway, which is one of my favorites, The Go-Giver by Bob Berg, who is on our podcast. And then also I'll talk to Brian about doing, whoever's not a member that's in Birmingham, I'm going to pay for your membership so that you can be part of REI Live. If there is a membership, is there one, Brian?
Yes.
Perfect. Whatever the cost is, I'm going to cover that.
It's $1,000.
It's $1,000. So he's a con artist that loves to just make you feel, no, I'm just kidding. So $1,000. So we're not going to do that giveaway. I'm going to buy 2 more books. I'm just kidding. Follow, and then at the end, Brian's going to help me pick. So here's what's going to be. Either go to your stories or do a post sometime during the night, tag me to it. Brian's going to select one at the end, a few of you at the end, and we're going to do some giveaways. Fair enough? Easy? Yeah. All right. Just want to make sure you're with me. Perfect. Let me tell you my story. This is my family. This is my why. This is why I wake up each and every day. And this is why I love doing what I do. Because the harder I stay focused and I have my direction at a singular focus, like a sniper shooting one bullet at a time, the more time I get to spend with my why. What is your why? Tony Robbins teaches us it's not what we want, it's what we can't live without. I can't live without them. So if I'm going to be at work, it's going to be very, very focused, just like a sniper. I would much rather stand in front of a person with a shotgun than a sniper any given day of the week. That one bullet's deadly, right? That's how you have to focus your business. A little less than 4 years ago, I came home early from the insurance industry, and I was thinking this is going to be a surprise to my wife. I walk into the house. I walk into the kitchen. The surprise was mine. I knew something was wrong. I didn't think this was going to happen. My wife's head was down in her hands, and I walked over and sweetheart, what's wrong? She didn't respond. So I said, sweetheart, please tell me what's wrong. She looks up to me in the eyes, and she says, how are we going to pay our bills this month? Oh, it got me at that moment. 68% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck and only have $800 to hold them over till their next paycheck. The Hofhines were part of that statistic. But I knew in that moment something was going to have to change. Something was going to have to take place in that moment. What? I didn't know for sure. But I'd been listening to Tony Robbins. He was my big cheerleader. He was like, yeah, get out there and do it, right? And Tony Robbins teaches us, if you want life to change, it's you that has to change. If you want life to get better, it's you that has to get better. Who's with me? Say I. Is there anyone that knows Tony? Come on. I know it's an awful, awful example. He speaks so much worse than that. So Tony Robbins, I knew I had to make a change. If I wanted life to get better, it was me. I was going to have to get better. I was the one saying, I'm with you. I need to make a change. I need to get better. That's my story. Guys, let me tell you a little bit of a reality check. For each of you that might be just first time here tonight or you're just getting involved, I want you to think about things in a different way tonight. Sometimes we're thinking, maybe you're here tonight, first and foremost. Maybe you're here tonight because you were once like me. How am I going to escape this? This 68% living paycheck to paycheck and only have $800 to hold me over my next paycheck. I had less than that. The reality check I want you to ask yourself was something my mentor asked me about 5 years ago. He said, where do you see yourself being in the next 5 years? And I want you guys to dream big. Are ladies in here know who Rachel Hollis is? Anyone? Or guys? I know who Rachel Hollis is. Okay. Rachel Hollis talks about dreaming big. I love when she talks because she's all about dreaming big. I want you guys to dream for a minute. And think about where you want to be 5 years from now. What does that look like? What does it look like spiritually? What does it look like physically? What does it look like financially? Where do you want to be? If you don't know where you want to be, it's kind of hard to know how to get there. So you've got to start putting this vivid picture in your mind of where you want to be so that you know what action you need to take each and every day so that you can actually accomplish this and get to where you want to be 5 years from now. If my wife said, hey, go over to the grocery store and pick up groceries for dinner tonight, and I just simply go there, and I just going down the aisle, and I'm like, maybe this, maybe she wants some of this, maybe she wants some of this, maybe she wants some of that, and I come home, and she's like, what on earth? Ketchup and onion, chips and soda. What is this? Well, sweetheart, you didn't tell me what to get. You just said go grab some groceries, and I picked the stuff that I like, minus the onion. I picked it up. It's crazy. Would we ever go to the grocery store not knowing what we need for dinner or what we need for the next week, and we're just like, and we go home, we're like, crap, this doesn't make anything. Going with a direct plan. Had my wife said, hey, we're having spaghetti tonight, I would have went in there with a little bit more direction saying, okay, I'm getting pasta. I'm going to get spaghetti sauce. I'm going to get garlic bread. And I would have made something work where the dinner would have worked that night. Okay? So where do you want to be 5 years from now? Here's a daunting question. If you're where I was at, I was in the insurance industry, and I wasn't passionate about selling insurance. It just wasn't me. And it wasn't my jam. I didn't wake up excited to go to work. And so here's the beautiful question. You can find out reality right now tonight. Ask yourself this question. Find someone 5 years ahead of you in your current industry. Whatever it is. Someone that's just 5 years ahead of you. Look at that individual, and are you okay when you see that individual saying, he's in a good place, so 5 years from now, I'm actually on the right path, and I'm fine with where this is going to lead me. Some bomb just went off right there. I love this guy. Not only did he drive me from the airport in a Maserati, guys, he put me up at his amazing Airbnb. Matthew, I love you. All right, and a bomb he just dropped. So, guys, think about this. Look at that individual. If they are where you want to be, maybe you're on the right path. But if they're not where you want to be, and you keep going down that road, and you keep going down that path, 5 years from now, you're going to be 5 years older, and you're still going to get punched right in the face with the daunting reality that I still don't like where I'm at. I still don't see an end to this living paycheck to paycheck. It's tough. It's not easy. It was hard. I had to sell cars and what little value we had. We bought a $1,000 Honda Civic that had been very loved and used. And we bought a $1,500 forest green minivan. We still drive a minivan. It's just white and a Toyota Sienna now. But we're Mormons. We're from Utah. We're crazy. So I want you to think about this. What are you willing to sacrifice? Yes, it's daunting. It's scary to do those changes because we've grown up in a society, and I'm not here to knock on anything about schooling, guys. Know that my perspective about this. I know I just spoke to a couple teachers here tonight. I love what they do. A lot of our school system, though, is education-based and not instruction-based. And it helps build an army of employees and doesn't necessarily teach you how to be an entrepreneur. Now, that could be very negative, what I just said. Know my intent behind this. For the most, that's what it will do for you. And then you get stuck in corporate America with golden handcuffs, with benefits, and I shouldn't say golden handcuffs, that's probably rude too. Benefits, insurance, and then it gets so hard to get out because, man, they're paying for this, they're paying for this, and not realizing what you could do on your own, okay? Let's forward this. So I want to talk to you about 5 power principles. 5 power principles that will change your life if you take action upon this. Now, even though I'm giving you 5, some of you might have already started with some of these principles, but what I really want you to hone in on and focus in on is one of those principles and take action tonight. Not tomorrow, not 2 days from now, but tonight. Too many times we get stuck at YouTube University and we're waiting for this perfect plan. We're going to just study, and watch. And then 3 years down the road, I come back to speak at REI Live, and I meet some of you guys. I'm like, hey, how are you? Last time we talked, you said you wanted a rental. How many rentals do you own now? Well, I don't own any yet. But on YouTube, they said something like this. When this opportunity presents itself, like, take action. Guys, I want you to know there's no such thing as a perfect plan. It doesn't exist. So what I want you to do, first and foremost, is get a mentor. Find someone. There's so many people in this room, including Brian, who knows what they're doing. With insurance, I made $19,000 my first year working 60 hours a week. It was ludicrous. It was crazy. But it's because I thought all you got to do is just out-hustle. You just got to work hard and everything's going to just fall in my lap because I will outwork anyone. The issue is there were so many power principles and habits that I wasn't doing that didn't make that a reality. $19,000. At that time, I had 2 kids, a mortgage payment, car payments. I'm telling you, there's a lot more month at the end of that check. Every single month. So I want you to think of getting a mentor. Why? Because you're going to pay for education one way or the other. You're going to pay for it whether you do it on your own or you just go with someone that already knows what they're doing. It's uncomfortable. Don't get me wrong. When I joined Wholesaling Inc., I was just a student. And I'm not promoting Wholesaling Inc., join my tribe. I'm not saying that. But my story was when I joined Wholesaling Inc., I was just a person on the phone talking to Tom Kroll. And I had this bubbly individual that sounded like a big barrel of caffeinated something that was ready to blow up. Who's heard Tom Kroll? The guy is like, squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. Like he can outperform anyone with energy. I could be on 10 hours and he's like, I got 20 more and I'm ready to go. Brian, attest to this. The guy is like crazy, right? I loved him. Because what I would say in front of him still today if he was here is because I saw him and I talked to him and because he was so quirky, I literally loved this guy because I was like, if this guy can do it, like there's no way I can't do it. Tom did it, for heaven's sakes. This guy is such a bad salesman, he couldn't close that door if it was open. I'm telling you guys, But it has nothing to do with sales when it comes to wholesaling. It has all to do with just loving individuals, and we'll get to that. So get a mentor. Start where they're at. There's no reason to start down here and think you can do it on your own. It's crazy. Our world does not, our nation does not lack resources. It just doesn't. If we fail, it's because we have lacked to be resourceful to those resources that are readily available to each and every one of us. They're out there. You have so many individuals right here around you that can help you. Get that help and start right out of the gates doing what they're doing and get out there and be successful quicker. Get a deal quicker. Turn it from faith to fact. Because out of the gates, it's going to be tough. You're going to spend marketing dollars. You're going to send out direct mail. You're going to cold call. Whatever it is, PPC, Facebook, you name it. You're going to get out there and you're going to realize it's going to try your faith really quick if you've never done a deal. And you're going to be like, oh, if I send out this money, is it going to come back? On your own, that's daunting. With a mentor, at least you know you're working with individuals that have done a deal. So don't just do it just because they call themselves a mentor. Make sure they're doing deals. And learn how to do it so that every dollar you spend is a profitable dollar coming back. Does this make sense? Who's with me? Say aye. All right, I love this. I love this. So get a mentor. Number 2. Instruction over education. I want you to think about instruction over education. Why is it that our nation has over $1 trillion of debt attached to student loans? Guys, this is a daunting statistic. I think it's $1.5 trillion is attached to student loans. Why? Because our school system is more education-based and not instruction-based. So what you want to do is make sure you're getting simple instruction, meaning action that you take. You don't want philosophy. Hey guys, and when you find a deal, you could kind of do whatever you want. I mean, really, I don't even know. I mean, if it's a deal to you, it could be great. That's awesome. When you're looking for instruction, look for someone that says, today's day 1. And here's what you're going to do, and here's how you're going to do it. And then you report. How did you do? I did it. Okay, today's day 2. Here's what you're going to do, and here's how you're going to do it. Not, here's a book, here's a CD, pop that in the truck, start driving, and if something resonates, go try it. I hope it works. Best of luck. No, get that simple instruction. When you watch Karate Kid, you got Danielson and Miyagi. When did he once actually get education? And it was crazy simple instruction. Wax on, wax off. Danielson's probably like, what on earth does this have to do with kicking that guy's butt that's being a bully? Right? He got simple instruction. Wax on, wax off. Paint the fence. And he's like, what? Use chopsticks to catch a fly? What? And I'm supposed to beat this guy up that just knocked me out? It's that simple instruction, doing it over and over again consistently. How many have read Compound Effect by Darren Hardy? Phenomenal book. If you haven't read it, get it today. Amazing, amazing book. This will change your life because he will teach you that it's the small and simple things that bring to pass big results. Everyone says, oh my goodness, you're leaps and bounds ahead of me. What big things are you doing? Darren Hardy says, it's just the small and simple things. And I'm willing to do those things that no one else is willing to do. That's all it is. It's the small and simple things and consistently doing them over and over and over again. Instruction over education. The third, take massive imperfect action. Who's heard this on the podcast? We say it nonstop. This is probably one of my favorite. Take massive imperfect action. What does this suggest? It means there's no such thing as a perfect plan, so don't wait for a perfect plan. Don't get caught into this analysis paralysis, this information overload. It's cancer. Analysis paralysis is when you get on YouTube and then all of a sudden you see another video that clicks up and you're like, hey man, this one sounds intriguing too. And you start watching it and then it pigeonholes down here and then it pigeonholes up here and it's like, pretty soon you're tracing 52 rabbits. The likelihood of you catching any of them, 0%, guaranteed. Guaranteed. So what you need to do is take massive imperfect action. Are you going to know everything outside of the gates right now? No. In fact, I suggest you to go fail your way forward. Thomas Edison, I didn't fail. I just found 10,000 ways that didn't work. And now we have a light bulb. Had he given up on day one or still been studying without taking any action and seeing what triggers a light bulb to illuminate, we would still be sitting in dark, possibly. But he kept failing his way forward 10,000 times until we now have a light. Fail your way forward. Don't wait for perfect plans. They don't exist. So don't wait for one. Just go out there and take massive imperfect action. But I have no idea. I went to this house and I knocked on the door and they said their house is in probate. I don't even know what probate is. Awesome. At that point, now you got to figure out what probate is. But until then, you can't prepare for that and say, well, what if I go knock on this door and this person says, go out there and they're going to say, my house is in probate. So I want to make sure I understand what probate is. And then what if also, besides that, they say their grandmother has Medicare, and if they sell the home, they can't make any proceeds because Medicare will take. Guys, this is what goes on nonstop when I go and talk to individuals. They're preparing for these what ifs, what ifs, what ifs. And 99%, if not 100% of the time, those what ifs never happen. So don't prepare. Go out there and fail your way forward. Go on your first appointment and say the most random stuff that makes you sound like a complete rookie idiot. Congratulations, you're well on your way to your first deal. That's the secret. You're going to go out there and say, yeah, I think I can purchase this, and it may be me purchasing it, and yeah, what do you think? But guess what? When you go home that night and you put your phone on record, that's what I always did. I put it in my back pocket and I had the speaker going up in Utah. I better make an attorney statement here. If you can't record conversations, don't do this. In Utah, one person needs to know, and I'm the one person. And I would go home and I'd listen to this. I'm like, holy crap, I can't believe I just said this. Well, I don't even remember saying that. I'm an idiot. No wonder why they just kicked me out of their house. Or, man, that was jazzy. That's when they fell in love with me and actually went with me. The next time you go out, you won't make those mistakes again. You won't sound like an idiot. But you cannot get to perfection. You cannot get better unless you're willing to go out there and just fail. Go fail. It's okay. The school teaches us not to fail. I was talking to a teacher just earlier, and he nailed it on the head. Don't make a mistake. Get 100%. You can't get 90%. You're good at 100%. You can't make mistakes. You can't go out there and fail. Our school system's teaching us this. It's okay to fail. Get uncomfortable. Success starts where comfort ends. Write that down. Success starts where comfort ends. Get uncomfortable every single day. ERT. This has little to do with real estate. Surprise! Wholesaling is little to do to nothing to do with real estate. Everyone's like, you're nuts, Cody. You just wholesaled 87 homes last year in Salt Lake City, and you're telling me it has nothing to do with real estate. Right. I'm telling you 100% it has nothing to do with real estate. It has all to do with ERT. It's not an emergency room transfer or whatever you might want to make of that. It's establish a relationship of trust. If you want to do business consistently over and over again, out-serve and out-love and out-patient and out-kindness your competition. That's the secret. You want to get a deal tonight? Make sure whoever just went into that deal beforehand, that you just out-serve them, out-love that individual, be kind to that person, and just genuinely listen. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use it proportionately. Go in there and genuinely listen to them. So many times my team, I don't go on the appointments anymore. So many times the team goes out there, and literally this is the story. Yeah, the guy was in and out in 2 seconds. He came in and looked at this bedroom, and he said, this needs to be fixed up. That's crazy. My team speaks with every individual for 30 minutes to get to know them before they even talk about the house. Write that down. That's worth writing down. That's why we win deals left and right. Is because when they try to speed you up and say, okay, you're at my house, because they don't want you in their house, and they might have got 10 other postcards and they got 5 other people coming. They want to get all 5 of you and get the highest offer and get you out. So you've got to slow them down, because they don't care about anything you have to say until they know you care about them. So you've got to slow them down. If you want to show them that you care, then they have to know that you care. You have to make sure you're very crystal clear that you're here to serve them. You're here to love them. And it begins right on the phone call. When they call them for the first time, here's how I eliminate 50% of my competition from just the phone call. Write this one down. This one works every time, if you're genuine about what I'm going to tell you. And that is, at the end of the call, I always have my team say this. Listen, Cindy, I'm going to come out there and I'm going to do my best. I may or may not be the fit. I don't know until I come out there and see the property. One thing I can promise you, though, is if I'm not the right fit, I'll also help you. We'll sit down and we'll figure out who is the best fit. What did you just do? You literally just gave her all the purpose and reason to get that whole stack of direct mail card and say, I don't need anyone else to come out. Because either Cody Hofhine is buying that deal, or he's going to sit down and help me find out who's going to buy that deal. Use it tonight. Start using that at the end of every conversation. Genuinely love those people. It's not about the home. I want you to think about this. If your mom came to you and says, son, I have cancer. Are you going to say, okay, Mom, so how many bedrooms and bathrooms did you say your house has? Because if so, wow, shame on that individual. You would literally sit there and you would even tear up. Do you know how many times I've cried with people at their house? I'm a crier, and I have no problem doing it with them. It's because I genuinely love these individuals. I care for them just like I would my own brother, my own sister, my own mom, my own dad. I genuinely love these individuals. And if I am not the best option, or if I'm not a good fit, I genuinely still love those guys and help them find out what's the best fit. So when you go in there, don't worry about the house. It's not about the house. That's the byproduct of just genuinely loving this individual who's going to present some problems to you, and you're going to sit there and say, what I can do is help that, because you said you have to leave in 5 days. We can close in 5 days or less. That's not a problem. Okay, it solves that problem. Okay, whatever problem comes up, you just sit there. Well, here's the thing. There's so much stuff in here, and there's so much of it that has to go to the dumpster. Listen here, Cindy. I'd be glad to put a dumpster here tomorrow, and you guys can start decluttering and throwing the stuff away. I'll take that on for me. I'll pay for that. Genuinely love these guys. Serve them. Outperform your competition that's only in there saying, I don't know, I'm looking at this room and it's going to take at least 30 grand. I mean, I know you like the flamingo backsplash, but that's totally dated. That orange shag carpet's not going to work. Yeah, I mean, I can offer 150. Take it or leave it. That's what your competition's doing, guys. That sounds bizarre that I'm saying it like that. That's what your competition's doing. It's all about the home to them. It's not for me. It's genuinely sitting down with them and establishing a relationship of trust, and after 30 minutes, tell me about your house. How do I help out? That's when I go in to see if I can help them out on their home. Love these individuals, serve these individuals. The byproduct is you'll get a contract that allows you to purchase their home. That's the secret. 5, you are the average of 5. Jim Rohn, one of my favorite. You're the average of the 5 closest individuals you spend the most time with. Who are you spending time with? I don't want you to misinterpret or confuse yourself with this. I think that means to a lot of people, you just forget about everyone in your past and you just move forward. That's not it. What this suggests, though, that you don't go home on Sunday dinner with all your family and say, I'm going to be a rock star wholesaler. Your worst critics are going to be at that table saying, are you kidding me? Did you see what happened in 2008? You're stupid. You got a bachelor's degree. You worked too hard. Why would you do that? If you go that route, don't come back to Sunday dinner. Now, hopefully your parents aren't that harsh. Mine weren't. But they criticized me. In my own family, they criticized me. They said I was nuts. Your worst critics can be your friends, can be your family. They can be your biggest time vampires. So what you have to do is, wherever you're searching advice, make sure you're talking to someone that's already in the destination that you want to be at. Because you're going to see that they live principles that maybe you're not living. And the likelihood, when you surround with those individuals, the likelihood of you becoming them becomes a reality. That's the power of the quote. If you want to be spiritual, don't go hang out at the bar. You're probably not going to find God. So if you want to be spiritual, find someone that's already in the destination. Not simply that wants to be spiritual, but someone that's already spiritual. So that you can just see what they're doing, their living principles. You're going to be like, oh man, I'm not doing that. I'm going to try it. Now the likelihood of you becoming that individual, you just unlock the secret. That's the power of the quote. Always look at your power 5 for whatever area you're trying to get better. Physically, financially, doesn't matter. Look at every area of your life and find your power 5 that are already in the destination, and then go learn from them. And it may start out that you're making 50 grand and you just simply want to make 100 grand. Go hang out with someone that makes 100 grand. But I wouldn't suggest if you want to be a millionaire to go hang out with someone that makes 50 grand. No offense to anyone that's making 50 grand. That's not the point. It's you just have to go surround yourself with the people that are in the destination. That's what that power of that quote is. Okay, guys, indecision. We're getting to the end of this. Indecision. What time does this go to, Brian? As long as I want, 10 o'clock, because there's a a tornado out there. All right, indecision. What is it? Indecision is the thief of all opportunity. This is another Jim Rohn quote. It's the greatest thief of opportunity. What is it that you're going to do from tonight? Because this meeting will go in vain if all it is, man, I felt good. And you go home, you're like, this was awesome. I saw a guy that wholesaled 87 homes last year, and it was amazing. Now, I'm not saying that because this could be a very awful talk, by the way. I'm hoping it's good. Is it adding value, by the way? Is this making sense, guys? Yes? No? Okay. What I want you to think about is indecision is the thief of opportunity. You have to start with the small decisions. The big decisions are going to lead to big rewards. But if you're not willing to do the small decisions, I heard this from a family member on my wife's side. We love helping out people. This is something me and my wife have always committed to because someone helped us out when we were desperate. We would come home and this individual would bring us a shake from Arctic Circle of all places because we had no money. We were broke. We were broke. Somehow he knew that because we never told anyone. And he would bring it, and on the bottom would be a taped $100 bill. And I'm telling you guys, it was game-changing. It was the $100 we needed to get by. It was just enough to help us get by, and he would do this randomly often. And we committed in that moment that we were going to start giving that day, not when we had money, but we were going to start giving that day, even if it meant a quarter. A sacrifice is not the same for me as it is for you. If I can give this amount, doesn't mean a sacrifice should be that much. A sacrifice should just be you give till it hurts. And that's going to be different for everyone. So we committed. Because if you think that, oh, when I have money, all of a sudden this principle is going to be of value and I'm going to just start giving, it's a lie. You have to be willing to give right now when you have nothing. Just give it at your sacrificial level. And that thing is going to grow as you grow. And it makes you that much more prone to just stay faithful with that principle on giving. That guy taught me a lot. So we do this all the time. And I shouldn't have said sister-in-law. She's going to watch this video. She says, I can't wait till I have money. Because we're going to give to people when we have money. It's not true, guys. Be willing to give right now. Be willing to make the small decisions right now. And be decisive right now. Because you're going to make a decision tonight. Maybe not all of you, but some of you are going to commit tonight to take some sort of action. But guess what? Sunday dinner comes around and you're going to share that decision. And family members might make you indecisive again, which is going to rob you of your opportunity. So if you're going to make your decision, share that decision with someone that you admire, that you look up to, and that's going to build you and buoy you up to say, you got this, you're right, you should do that, you're going to be a rock star, go do it. Share your decision with that individual. It doesn't mean you have to share it with those that you love and your family and your daughters and your sons. You don't have to. Because if they're there to not support that, this will never work. You've got to have a huge support system behind you. If you want something you've never had, then you must be willing to do something that you've never done. If you want to go on vacation each and every month and spend time with your kids, with your family, with your loved ones, or just simply yourself because you need some valuable me time, or you want your home paid off, or you want all your debt gone, or you want passive income, which may or may not exist depending what day you talk to me on, reoccurring income. Anything passive that you don't monitor will deteriorate. So nothing's passive, but reoccurring income. But you want rentals. You're going to have to do something today that you've never done before. Don't wait till tomorrow. Take action today and do something today that you've never done before so that you can have that. Guys, if I can do this, you can do this. That sounds so cliche, I understand. I was broke 5 years ago. I was living paycheck to paycheck. I was part of that 68%. Today, I am completely debt-free. I invest different than everyone else. I know everyone would be like, go leverage, and get a ton of homes. I could own 50 homes right now if I wanted mortgages on all of them. But I don't, because I don't need the income on them right now. But I do own 10 rental single families, free and clear, over and above my own residence. On top of that, a cabin that I can go to. I don't share this to say, guys, look at me, I'm a rock star. That's not the purpose behind this. If you guys listen to our podcast, this is not me. This is not the heart behind what I'm saying. I'm simply saying, if this guy can do it, so can each one of you. If you're willing to get uncomfortable and stay uncomfortable each and every day. If you can commit to that, you too can have whatever you want. I promise you that. That's how it happens. But you've got to stay uncomfortable. If you've said, man, at the end of the day, that was a cozy day, you probably failed. At the end of the day, you literally should be laying down and you should hear your brain tell you, thank God, about time you laid me down. You should be so spent because you gave it your all and you got uncomfortable. Don't go to bed when you're tired. Go to bed when you're done. There's a difference. Don't go to bed when you're tired. Go to bed when you're done. I believe that is it, my guys. Thank you so much. Now we're going to do some Q&A.
Jerry Varner. I'm actually not in real estate. I'm a contractor, and I'm following the Go-Giver Law. It's probably one of the best, one of the most phenomenal books I've ever read. Hands down, carried me through the rest of my career in business and success, everything. It's a lifestyle. That being said, what would be, I'm looking at local properties. I'm looking at different options in real estate. And right now, I'm trying to figure the most efficient for the least capital that I can jump into.
Oof.
So would wholesaling be, would that be it? Would that be my niche? I don't want to be a realtor. That's not my intentions.
Okay, that's a great question. And for me, I'm going to tell you absolutely wholesaling. I was broke as a joke. I had no money. So when Tom asked me, hey, do you have $1,000 a month to spend on marketing? I was like, heck yeah, I do. I was like, oh man, I don't. But I got a credit card. It was the first time that I also went to the casino of life and invested 100% and threw it down on Cody Hofhine. I'd never done that before. I'd invested in some college, not a lot. I'd invested in all these different things, but I never had fully invested in myself. So look at it as, how can you invest in you? And wholesaling is hands down the secret weapon to be able to be a multimillionaire that will open up more options where you can now cherry pick your best deals because you're cash strong, and you can cherry pick your best rentals. You can pay off your debt if that's what you want to do. I invest different than everyone else. Everyone's going to be like, man, leverage, like you're crazy. You just locked up a lot of money. At the end of the day, when I went to hear people and they're like, at RIA meetings, so like in 2008, I had 50 rentals. I lost all of them. Do you know who those people were? The ones that had loans. I've yet to this day heard anyone that has free and clear properties say, when 2008 hit, I lost everything. I haven't heard it. It just doesn't exist. They were the ones that were able to go through it. So you can invest however you want, but start with wholesaling. And keep it singular. Everyone that may be thinking the same question, I'm glad you asked it. Keep it singular. Do not wholesale, do not fix and flip, and do not buy rentals all at the same time. You're chasing too many rabbits and you will fail at every one of them. They're the brokest investors I've ever met. But once you have a system in place, once you have a process in place, once you have a team in place, and you're consistently pumping out wholesale deals, now it's time to go maybe buy some rentals. But until then, do not do it, or you will lose a lot of traction and a lot of money really quick. Hope that helps.
I'm wholesaling down in right here in Alabama. I need to know your hottest list and how do you get it?
The hottest list and how I get it. Every city and state is going to be different. So I'm going to tell you what it is for Utah. For Utah, it is tax delinquent and it's eviction. Those two lists are $1.3 million.
How are you getting those lists?
Those are going to be different in every city and state as well. So you can go to a city, township, you can go to your county, whoever has the tax records. I don't know if Alabama does tax sales and it's like you only get 3 months like Texas. You go tax delinquent, you got 3 months or you're gone. In Utah, you got 5 years. So it's awesome. You see people behind on taxes 2 years or more. That's a beautiful thing, right? Because now you found someone that potentially has the motivation. What makes a deal are two things. Write this down. Motivation and equity. Now, you can go out and do seller financing and subject tos. There's other creative ways. I get that. But for this purpose, there's two things when you get into wholesaling. It is equity and motivation. Those are the two things you're looking for. You couple those together, and now you can put together a contract that makes a win-win. So, tax delinquent, I would talk to someone here. I know there are people in this room that know how to get tax delinquent. Open the mouth and just start talking, and then once you ask the question, now just zip the baby up and start using the other 2 ears. Okay? But someone has that. Eviction, for us, we get it daily. We pay for a program that allows us to literally get it daily, and it's sweet.
I do got another question, I'm sorry. So if I was to sign up to your platform right here, are you, damn, I don't know what I'm trying to ask. Will I get those lists through you guys? Or,
we teach you how to get the list, but we don't do the list for you. No, it's still very much so you taking all the action. But yes, we give you the guidance.
All right. Thank you, man.
Yep.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Good question. Are y'all just going to the back of the line again real quick? We got like 2 more questions here. Anyone else with a question for Cody? Get lined up. Let's go.
Brittany, tell everybody.
Brittany!
I'm Brittany Thompson. I wholesale with my husband here.
And as a rock star rhino, guys, I love this girl.
You guys, y'all give a lot of knowledge, and like it's so amazing to have you here. Like it's just unbelievable. Like we thank you so much for being here.
You're very welcome. It was an honor seeing you in Asheville as well, though.
Aww.
Awesome stuff.
That was awesome. My question here, we've been wholesaling for a couple of years now. We're doing okay. We're not amazing as I want to be. But you mentioned something about your business being established, paying off debt, acquiring rentals. And I wanted to kind of get your perspective on when it's okay to transition into that. So now that your business is cash flowing, at what point do you start to work on eliminating debt?
Yeah. So eliminating debt was something I wanted first and foremost before I owned rentals. So it was our Salt Lake event in 2017 in April. Tom in February, 2 months before, had just told me, Cody, I just paid off my mortgage. And I was like, you rat son of a gun. Like, what? This is awesome. And so on April, I had 150 people at this meeting, and I stood up and I said, I want each one of you to hold me accountable. By December 31st, my mortgage is gone. I still had $295,000 to pay on this thing. And I didn't know how it was going to happen. All I knew is I'm right here on this stage right now, and I'm going to get uncomfortable, because that's going to be my only shot of actually making this happen. And I said, I have till December to pay it off. We paid it off the end of October that same year, because now we knew what we wanted. We knew where we wanted to be by December, so I knew my plan. Now I knew it was just all in. Like everything I had, I just threw it down. At the end of the day, if things go bad, which they're not, guys, they're not, and if they go bad, people still go through divorce, people are still getting evicted, people are still behind on taxes, people are still behind on their mortgage, people are still behind on all these things, even in a low market, bad market, crappy market, transition, recession, whatever you want to call it, right? Wholesaling is still going to be necessary. So payoff, it's up to you. That's something you're going to have to sit down with your loved ones and say, what makes sense? For me and my wife, it was, we didn't like debt. It's like, everyone's like, oh, but there's good debt and bad debt. And I'm like, is there good sin and bad sin? Now, this is my own personal views. But at the end of the day, I was like, no, like, get rid of debt. So I didn't want to be a slave to the debt anymore. So I got rid of it as fast as I could. And now I buy all my rentals free and clear.
Thank you. And that's the page that we're on now. One more question and then I'll get out of the way. So coming from the insurance industry, it's very familiar to my personal background. what were some things that you did to positively affect your mindset? Because I know the grind was real, especially in the beginning.
Yes, it was continually surround myself with rock stars. I can't tell you how powerful, like my favorite quote is just, you're the average of the 5 closest individuals you hang out with. I can't tell you how that quote alone was what really got me through it, because I faced every roadblock, every trial, every challenge possible. I really, really mean this. I was punched in the face a million times. But because I had Tom in my corner that I could call and say, hey, this is this. You guys have Brian in your corner. You have rock stars right here that you can pick up the phone and do this. They have services that allow that to happen. I was able to do that because on my own, I was weak, guys. On my own, when I faced my first trial challenge, I was like, screw this. I'm going back to making 19 grand a year. What? Right? And so I didn't. I picked up the phone. That's why I needed a mentor. Guys, when I pay for my nutritionist now, it has nothing to do with the meal plan. I can Google that in 2 seconds. When you pay for a mentor in wholesaling, it's everywhere. You don't need the information. Go to YouTube University, go to Google, the information's already there. The greatest strength a mentor has in whatever you want to be better at is the fact that he's going to hold you accountable. So when you're at your weakest moment, you have access. Every Wednesday, hop on and say, listen, I'm weak. This just took place. What do I do? You receive the instruction. Now it's up to you to say, I'm taking massive imperfect action, and bam, we're making this happen.
Love it. Thank you.
Yep.
Kevin Johnson, could you elaborate a little more on
Education.
people that are behind
This was my teacher I was talking to.
that are behind on their taxes? How do you go about wholesaling that?
Yeah. We love direct mail. We love cold calling. We love pay-per-click. We love all the marketing channels. But I would tell you guys again, if you're getting into it, only pick one. Be a sniper and shoot one bullet at a time and not a machine gun. You will run out of bullets quick and you'll be back to corporate America in 2 seconds flat. One marketing channel. Get it very, very operated where you have a team running it, or you have a system in place, or you have a process in place. Then bring on your second. If not, some of you are probably smiling, laughing at me. You're like, crap, that's where we went wrong. I can see it in the room. I can feel it. You're like, man, it's because we did 3 things at once. It's crazy. Only bring on the second one after. So back to what do you do? It depends on what your marketing channel is, but only do one marketing channel until that is running on all cylinders. One marketing channel. So my favorite is direct mail. It does all the heavy lifting for me. Everyone says direct mail's dead. I love you. God bless you. Because it allows me to get a ton of freaking deals that everyone says it's dead on. That direct mail is my choice. It can be anything for you. Whatever your joy is of like, hey, here's my form of marketing. Maybe it's driving for dollars. Maybe it's whatever it is. Pick one and go out there and market it to it. Mine's a simple postcard that says, my name's Cody Hofhine. No longer Cody Hofhine. It now says Mark Stubler because we did research that says Mark Stubler gets a better response rate than Cody Hofhine. Who would have thunk? And so what we do is we send out postcards. My name is Mark Stubler. I'd like to buy your house at 123 Main Street for a quick cash offer. Call me at, and it's a number, right? And then that does all your heavy lifting. That's why I love direct mail. It's scalable. It's automated. It's something that I just print the list off, send it to the mail house, and say, split this up over the next 8 weeks. And now I don't have to do nothing but just wait for that phone to ring. And right when it rings, it's like, boom, we're going to town. The secret is get back to them in 20 minutes or less. That's what you have to do. Treat every lead like it's hot. You can't go in there and say, oh, he didn't leave a message, so I'm not going to call that one back. No lead left behind. Someone's calling you on that stupid 35-cent postcard. We all know 20 realtors. No offense, realtors. We all know realtors. Why did they not call their realtor buddies? Something's wrong. You just got to figure it out. That's your job now. Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, fire away.
So what is the script if they're behind on their taxes?
No, you don't talk about their taxes. In fact, if you're going to go knock their doors and they're behind on their taxes and you go up and say, hey, Cody Hofhine with Utah Sell Now, I just saw on the public record you're behind your taxes. Want to see if you'd like to know if you'd like to sell me your house. Right? They're going to give you the people's elbow. He's going to jump off the stage and knock you out, right? No. What you do if you're going to cold call or knock that door, you're going to be like, hey, my name's Cody Hofhine. I'm actually in the neighborhood because I'm looking to buy a home over the next few days. Do you happen to know anyone that's looking to sell their home at this time? That's how you ask it. Because if they're motivated, they're going to say, well, I'll be darned, actually I am. They're not going to tell you they're behind on their mortgage or their taxes, nor should you point that out. Right? You're a big man, but you'll get knocked out, I'm telling you. You talk about taxes, big doesn't mean anything anymore. I've had women knock me out. Okay.
This is good stuff, guys.
Does this make sense? Awesome. Keep going. Lisa, she gave me my first hug in Alabama. I tried to have Matthew do it. He wouldn't do it.
I'm like starstruck, seriously. So, you probably hate me if I told you my story.
I don't hate you. I love everyone.
I'm that person who does a little bit of everything.
And you're not tonight. You're going forward different.
Right? And I give away like all my wholesale deals. But I have like a little group, and we work really hard together, and I know all of us want to get into virtual wholesaling. Do you have some advice?
I do, but you may not like it. I tried this. I tried it in 2018. I thought, I'm a rock star, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to have 2 markets open. It's going to be great. Now, in Salt Lake, we've got this baby honed in. My average assignment fee is $22,000, and we do 10 of them a month. It's just honed in. But that's not how it started. Far from that. But I thought, man, if I could do this in 2 markets, this is going to be incredible. So I brought on a couple people that I thought were rock stars, and we did Indiana. We found 2 homes the second week, and we got both of them under contract. Both, not one, both under contract for $2,500. I could buy 10 flat screens for what I got 2 homes under contract for in Indianapolis. I was like, this is going to be a slam dunk. This is going to be amazing. I had 150 cash buyers. My highest paying buyer was a $1,000 assignment. I'm going to spend 2 weeks to make $1,000 when I have an operating well-oiled machine bringing in a $22,000 assignment on average in Utah. It was awesome. I had to go through that, though. I had to go through it. You're not going to like my answer. I hate virtual wholesaling. I think it's a joke. Because trying to work with people that now are not in your office and trying to babysit them and make sure they're doing it and making sure they're doing it and not sending out the deals behind your back to someone else and making something under the table. Could it happen? It can, Lisa. It can. I think you have a golden goose like I did in Utah. That is, the goose is just laying these golden eggs. And every now and again, we get this shiny object thinking, if I could just find this goose, I've heard it quack a few mountains over, I'm just going to walk over there and find this other goose that can lay now 2 eggs every day. The issue is you walk away from this business and you go in search of this golden goose, and if you even can find it. Meanwhile, no one's taking care of this goose. This goose dies. We were doing on average $150,000 to $250,000 every single month, month in, month out. We went down to $40,000 and $60,000 back to back in Utah. We lost so much traction because we were going to find the golden goose over here when we had a perfectly fine, healthy, amazing goose right here laying eggs day in and day out. I know that may be harsh, but Lisa, I love you too much to say you've got a gold mine sitting right here in front of you in Birmingham.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hi, Cody. My name is Portia.
Portia?
Portia.
I love it. One day I'll drive one. My boy's name is Bentley because I can't afford a Bentley.
My struggle is this. I'm just starting wholesale. Brian has taught us, you start in your area, in your neighborhood. Where I live, there are a lot of distressed houses over there. But the problem is, cash buyers or buyers are not renovating, rehabbing, constructing, nothing. So, what's your advice?
I'm going to give my best advice, but I'm not going to say I'm right. It's a curveball. I'm not throwing a fastball here. I'm just curveball. I'm going to test the waters on this one. I would venture to guess there are cash buyers in that area. Here's why. Whenever a deal goes out, especially at the beginning, I'd put a home under contract. I'd send it out to my cash buyers, and I'd say, here's a smoking hot deal at 123 Main Street. How many of you saw it? No, I haven't seen it. Well, get over there, because there's a lot of hype on it, and you're going to miss out. And they come back, they're all hype. What the world did you just send me? This thing's garbage. This neighborhood. It's garbage. Instead of saying, okay, thanks, and hang it up, I would go one step further. Mr. Cash Buyer, listen, it sounds like it's, what is it about this? Well, you're 20 grand high. Ooh, I am high on that. Now, if you had a $30,000 spread on that, listen, he's going to give you 20 grand less, you're still going to make 10 grand, you can move forward. Or maybe you have it under contract, making this up, $50,000, and they're only willing to pay $40,000. Here's the best part. Go further into that conversation. Mr. Buyer, it sounds like you don't want it at this price. But at what price would this actually make sense? Go further. I know it sounds like, no, there's no one doing it. At some price, I promise you, sight unseen, Brian will buy it. At some price. If you... What?
So we're closer to the Indiana example.
Okay, so you can buy a home for the price of a VCR.
Yes.
This one? Okay. This is why this may not work. Sometimes you can't give away homes. Indiana was the case. So if that's the case, maybe you just got to farm a new area. And that's great. I think that's awesome. But at least try to ask your cash buyers to say, no, there's no deal there. At what price point is there a deal? And ask that further question. Maybe they're going to come back and say, well, at $2,000 I'd buy it. Now you also know what to go back and renegotiate the contract at.
And we've had success selling to neighbors. A neighbor who owns a home right next door. Things like that.
You own one turd, you might as well have two. Just kidding. Just kidding, guys.
Thank you, Portia. Yes, sir.
Hey, Cody, how's it going?
Yo, there's a tribe member right there. Rockstar.
All right. Hey, I have two questions. The first one's a pretty quick question.
Okay.
Out of those 87 that you did last year, how many contracts did you have out there that just fell flat?
2, maybe 3.
Awesome. That means you have a good cash buyers list, probably.
Not only that, we really know what we're doing.
Okay.
And so, but we weren't out of the beginning. We had to cancel quite a few contracts, or at least renegotiate, because we didn't know what we know now. Now someone can just say a neighborhood, and I don't have to go look at it. I already know what my price is going to be, and I already know what it is. At the beginning, I didn't. And so here's a tip. Go to your cash buyers and ask them what they're looking for and what areas they're looking to find homes at and what they're willing to pay for those homes in that area. There's your beginning knowledge. Your cash buyers are gold. That's what taught me, because I didn't know how to comp properties. I didn't have access to the MLS. So I just used my cash buyers. Yes, did they get smoking hot deals the first year of my life? Absolutely they did, because they told me prices that were crazy. And I just thought, oh well, I'm just going to do good and negotiate less than what they said and I'll make money. But that's a secret, guys. Let them tell you what they're willing to pay, and then ultimately the secret is, cash buyers, plug your ears, you'll hate me, get a crap ton of cash buyers on your list and make that baby a feeding frenzy. It's awesome. Price it at a point that gets 20 people involved, and then you just cover your ears, cash buyers. Their ego goes crazy. They're like, oh man, Rob's gonna get this, put 20 grand on more. No, we're going up 10. We got 10, we got 10, we got 10, 15, 15, got 10. And you just watch these things just go on fire because they're like, oh, be darned if Rob's gonna get this, I'm gonna get this. And then you end up getting more for your price. Cash buyers, thank you.
Second question. Getting a rhythm on your marketing is really important.
I might get mugged at the end of this. I need Matthew.
We got security.
Perfect. That's all I need.
So getting your marketing on a consistent schedule and keeping track of all that. I use Podio to track my leads. I put them in there as I buy the list and then blast them out. How do you keep a rhythm and how do you keep it organized and how often are you sending that mail, the whole picture?
The whole thing.
Can you tell me how you're doing that?
Yeah. So what I do is I put it on 7-week cycles and I just put it on repeat. So there's real no secret sauce into how many times I hit it. I'll hit it as long as I'll just keep sending it out. If you talk about sales in general, Grant Cardone throws out this statistic and many others throw out this statistic. It's between the 5th and 12th touch that your clients use you as their service. Now that may or may not be true for wholesaling, but it is the frequency that you send it out there. Because right now, it may not be the right time for them to sell their home, but it doesn't mean 2 months from now, crap hits the fan and they have to quickly sell their home. So it's he who consistently sends out their marketing and has that postcard or that marketing channel, whatever you use, in that person's hand or in front of that person's face when they're thinking about selling. So there's no secret sauce as to how often. I just put it on repeat. I don't want it to go out any quicker than 7 weeks. So on week 1 is the same people that's going to get it on week 8. And I just put it on repeat. Week 2 is week 9, week 3, week 10. Does that make sense? Keep it a 7-week cycle and then wash, rinse, repeat. Put it on repeat. I had someone in Utah is actually a tribe member, so they're sending out the same postcard. I'm the only one 3.5 years ago that was part of the tribe. I was sending out the mailers. And this individual calls me and says, Cody, I love you. I have to thank you so much because what you did for me is amazing. I just got my first deal. I'm like, no, what you did is amazing. You took action, give yourself a pat on the back. It's not me. We just gave you some simple guidance. They're like, oh, no. I went to this house, and she'd only been a tribe member maybe 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. And she's like, I went to this house, and the individual says, you've been mailing me for 3.5 years. And I have to just go with you because you just seem like you're a legitimate buyer. And I'm like, you can thank me. That's awesome. That's awesome stuff. So stay consistent. He who sends out, or she sends out consistent marketing will lead you to consistent conversations, consistent appointments, consistent offers, consistent contracts, consistent payday. It all begins with marketing. Stay consistently marketing and it'll lead you to consistently getting paid. Mail or market weekly, not once a month. Every single week so that you're consistently every single week on appointments, consistently making offers, consistently getting contracts every single week. I did this for you guys. I didn't mention this. Look, hold on. I'd show you my underwear, but that's, they're not red. All right, go for it.
Hey, what's going on, man? My name is John Scott.
Yeah.
Here. I'm a one-man show.
Okay.
So in the beginning stages, how did you kind of structure your business to scale it? Or did you add like another cold caller? Or
what's your form of marketing right now?
I do cold calling.
Cold calling, okay. You got to keep going until you get consistent deals. So you don't want to bring on team until you're consistently doing 2 to 3 deals a month. It's not about the revenue, the gross revenue, or the assignments. It's how many you're doing. I would much rather hear someone say instead of saying, hey, last month I made 50 grand on one wholesale deal, I would much rather hear I did 5 deals at 10 grand a pop. That allows me to know that you're doing something consistently, and now it's time to scale up and get a team in place. If you're doing direct mail, one of my favorite things that I always did, first thing I pawned off is I got a virtual assistant from, at the time it was Odesk, now it's Upwork, upwork.com, write that down. You can get virtual assistants that are amazing, and what I would do is I'd send out my direct mail and it'd go to a voicemail, and I would just get back to these individuals in 20 minutes or less. Now what I would do is I'd categorize them in stage 1, 2, or 3. Category 1 was they left their name, number, and address. Category 2 is they left something but not everything. Category 3 is they left nothing or they hung up. And I'd have my virtual assistant do all of the listening to the voicemails so that when I was ready and I could break away from insurance, it was just right to the phone versus listening to an hour of voicemails and then categorizing them. But what I do is I call the category 1s first, category 2s second, category 3s last. But no lead left behind. Does that help?
Yes.
Okay. By the way, can I borrow your arms?
Hi, Cody.
Yes.
Yes. You know what? I appreciate you actually doing this.
You're very welcome. It's an honor. Thank Brian. He's the one that did this.
Great. Well, honestly, you actually answered my question. Well, anyways, my name is Jermaine from Toronto, Canada.
Rockstar.
Right?
Flew down here just for this.
Flew down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, my company is Timeless Cash Offers. We buy houses, right? So any cash buyer that wants like 40 to 60 cents on the dollar comes to me. All right?
That was your one plug.
And,
2 of them, I rip your socks off. You better tie those shoes tight, buddy. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Okay. My question is that I still work, right, at a day job.
Okay.
Right? So what I wanted to figure out, because I know that you had a job as well, but how did you make that transition from your job and then, doing your wholesaling on the side?
Day 39 of going through the program, I did my first deal for $24,000. Day 39. At day 39, I said, why am I sitting at this desk selling insurance that I did 60 hours a week and made 19 grand for 365 days? Day 35. And at that point, I was like, okay, if this is getting my part-time effort, I'm going all in. And so what I did is I hired someone to take the calls and do my insurance, and it cost me money, but I was tripping over dollars to pick up nickels to stay in. Farmers, I love you. I'm not making fun of you, by the way. I love you. This guy's awesome, by the way. He's got some amazing stuff. If you're not doing the right policies, we used Foremost and Farmers all the time. I still love you, buddy. Still love you. I just didn't love insurance, but I love you. All right, did that help? Did I finalize that? Because I got sidetracked. Farmers, I just have so much. We are.
Do a really big deal. That's the answer to the question.
Do a really big deal, and it will change your life. It really will. It turns from faith to fact, and then all of a sudden you're like, that was only 10 hours this whole month. Now do 40 hours a week and see what that results.
So you also mentioned about you have like some sort of script or something on your answer machine when someone calls.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you find that more, I guess, catchy to get back to them.
Word that better for me.
What's the script? What do you say to your...
Oh, what's the script? Well, that's a simple way of saying it, brother. All right, here we go. What's the script? It's as simple as this.
You're going to talk Southern right here.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So it's like this. It's like this. Hold on, I'll do both. Hey, A. You must have just got my postcard, eh? If you're interested in selling your home, eh? Leave your name, number, and a brief message, and your address, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can, eh? Now, Southern. Oh, boy. Hey, y'all. Y'all's one. I don't know what it is. All right, let's roll. But, yeah, it's simple. I need their name, number, address. Don't overcomplicate this. It's simple. If you're not getting voicemails, it's because you just need to clear up something. But really, it's, hey, Cody Hofhine. If you're calling about a home that you're looking to sell, just leave your name, number, and address, and I'll get back to you just as quick as I can. 20 minutes or less.
It has to be 20 minutes.
Yes. If you're going to buy tires for your car, and you're at work full time, and you've got a 15-minute lunch break, and it's like, I have to figure this out right now. Who are they going to go with? The first person that says, yep, come on up, I got your tires. Make sure that's you.
Gotcha. All right, thank you.
Yep.
Last question.
Woo!
My name is MJ with S&M Investor Group, LLC.
Nice.
Question, I hear you talking about your spreads and they're kind of large. How do you go about submitting an offer in a competitive market that's not beating yourself over the head and also not opposing to the potential seller?
Competition only exists if you believe it. Henry Ford, whether you believe you can or can't, you're right. So if competition exists, it's because you believe it exists. I don't believe it exists. What I do believe is time is of the essence. If I don't get this contract today, I'm not getting the contract. If you go in with that mindset, now you start to think outside the box. Let's role play real quick, okay? I want you to be husband and wife, and we just sat and talked, and I'm going to stage this for you, so it's really easy role play. I'll be the wholesaler. And at the end, you're basically going to say, you know what, me and my wife need time to think about it. Okay, Mr. MJ with the Brotherhood of LLC, I am going to, here's what I can do. I can do this, 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 and this. It's going to be this price. Is this something that makes sense to move forward?
Sure.
No, you failed. Me and my wife need time to talk about this. Yes, it's so you're telling me if I could come up with 150 that would work. Is that something we can put the contract together today?
I don't know, me and my wife will have to think about it.
Awesome. You know what? Here's the thing. Validate that they want time to talk about it. Honor that. Just give them a deadline. MJ, I respect that you need to talk to your wife. That's awesome. I think that's great. In fact, my wife sent me a text while we've been here, and she said I have to go to the store and pick up some hamburger before I go home so that we can cook dinner. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the store real quick. I'm going to pick up the hamburger, and I'm also going to pick up a $200 gift card. I'm going to swing back around here in about 30 minutes, and if it happens to be something that makes sense, I'll even leave you the $200 gift card. Does that give you enough time?
Yes.
Do you know what that just said? Do you know what that meant? And this is true. This happens all the time. Do you know what that means? For $200, I'll sign tonight. They're not thinking I need to talk to my wife anymore. Yeah, we've already talked. Come back in 30 minutes, $200 gift card, I'll sign. That's what they just said without saying it. When he said yes, he really was saying 200? I'll do it. I don't believe in competition. What I do believe in, time is of the essence. And if I'm not getting that contract tonight, I will never get that contract. Makes you think outside the box and make sure you get it that night. That's it.
Awesome. Guys, let's give Cody a big round.